We don't have parrots in
We
India.
don't have parrots in India. It was so surprising to me.
The cycle has been disrupted. The natural cycle has been disrupted, which led to, their habitat is shrinking.
It's shrinking.
And they are the large carnivores that includes snow leopards. They are shifting to higher elevations. There has been fragments now. We are creating little small fragments of forest,
I see.
and with no connectivity for wildlife to move from one corridor to another.
I see.
So this is one of the main, threats caused by humans. There has been a lot of poaching happened in the past,
Okay.
and there has been a lot of pressure on the elephants. And what happened? They did evolution in such a way that now the new generation of elephants which are now coming, they don't have
the
tusks.
the tusks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. And this happened within 100 years, I would
Yeah.
say.
If you put them in like small room, for example, you take example of yourself. If you
I
you have to live in
guess.
a room and
Yeah.
you don't have to go out for a few years, you will be crazy.
Okay, Janam. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your academic journey, starting from your schooling and till the present date? How you got interested into such a fascinating area of work?
So I did my schooling from SD Public School. It's in Yamunanagar, Haryana, and till 12th I studied there. And in class 12th I had biology. I studied biology, chemistry, and physics. And the school life was really, fun.
It was fun. Okay.
It was fun. Yeah, I missed those days, my friends. Yeah. Then suddenly, like, the life has changed when I started pursuing bachelor's, and which was also from Yamunanagar. It was from Mukanlal National College, and there I took admission in bachelor's in life sciences,
Okay.
and I had subjects botany, zoology, and chemistry. So these were the three subjects, and from there my interest got inclined towards wildlife. So what happened in second year or third year, I had some project on birds.
On birds.
Yeah,
I see.
so we had our professor who is now retired, so Dr. Rajiv Kalsi. Yeah, so we had our professor who is now retired from Hamlin College, and he's an ornithologist.
Ornithologist.
So
I see.
he has like variety of experience on various species of birds. And from there, like, he gave us some project during third year of our bachelor's. It was particularly on the birds of that particular city or region. So we had to make a project report, make a checklist of the birds of that area.
I see.
And we have to collect the GPS locations where we captured that bird, also with the photograph of that bird.
Oh.
So from there I learned various names of birds that fascinated me a lot, that there are many species of birds which we don't know, even we haven't seen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interestingly, regarding that fact, I also kind of did my a small part of my BSMS degree where I was involved in the work of counting the birds. There I came to know that within the region of Haryana and Punjab, there are more than 132 to 150 different types of species of birds. And interestingly, what I found out that in India, the birds that whom we call parrots or totas, they're not parrots, they're parakeets.
Parakeets.
And there is a fundamental difference between them.
Yeah.
It was really fascinating to see that, okay, that moment was actually, I would say that the enlightening moment for me.
We don't have parrots in
We
India.
don't have parrots in India. It was so surprising to me. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is really enlightening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming back to your next step.
So
Yeah.
after that, like, I came in contact with him, and I showed more interest in wildlife. So that time he has a new project on the same project I worked for my master's thesis. It was on spatial ecology of small cats. So we also have small cats in Haryana. That includes rusty spotted cat, that is the world's smallest cat.
I see.
We also have leopard cat, Asiatic wild cat, and jungle cat. So that project includes the small species and how they are distributed in the Kalesar National Park. So, and during that time I started visiting Kalesar National Park with him. I accompanying him for birding, for wildlife photography. So
I see.
I'm also a wildlife photographer.
I'm not surprised. Not at all.
Yeah, so this is how the journey begins. Then I become more passionate about large carnivores, especially leopards, because that area only has leopards.
I see.
Yeah. Then I took admission in Masters Wildlife Science in MIT University, Noida.
I see.
Yeah, and there we have our professor, Dr. Randeep Singh. So he is also a large carnivore researcher, and he has worked in Ranthambore Tiger Reserve on tigers.
Mhm.
And then under his supervision, I worked on ecology of leopards
I
in
see.
Kalesa National Park.
So, what's the most fascinating behavior that you observe in these cats, this specific the animal that you are interested in? What's the most fascinating, I would say? Because for us, the home cats that we have, they're cute, but also they're selfish and greedy. I mean, I'm not a personal fan, but putting that aside, these are some basic traits that we see. So, what is the most fascinating trait that you have observed in these animals? Specifically cats.
These wild cats, especially the big cats, we
Yes.
say, the term we use for them,
Yeah.
they are very intelligent predators.
Intelligent predators.
Yeah, they are very smart.
Uh-huh.
They are very royal.
Uh-huh.
And the special behavior everyone want to see them in the wild is doing mating.
Doing mating.
Yeah.
Okay.
How they come in the courtship, how they, like the male,
Male interacts with impress the female. Okay.
Also, and how they mark their territory.
I see.
They have very different behaviors when they are with the cubs, small cubs, when the mother is with the cubs.
Yeah.
And when the male is patrolling his territory, big dominating male.
I see.
So that expressions are extraordinary when you are in the wild. So those behaviors are very interesting to observe.
But what I would like to ask in the starting is that what is their major role in managing the ecosystem? I mean, obviously, they have to control the population of animals which who eat grass, I would say.
Yeah, deers or prey
Deers,
populations.
yes. Putting beside that, what is their another role in managing the ecosystem?
So the other important role they play in the ecosystem is providing ecosystem services.
Like what?
Ecosystem services, like they help in scavenging.
Scavenging.
Like they clean the ecosystem. They prevent diseases to spread.
I see.
Like they eat the dead animals. Like we have livestock, for example, cows.
Mhm.
The dead, like if you go into the village area,
Yeah.
so they have sheep or dead cattles.
Yeah.
So these scavengers, like large carnivores,
Yes.
like tigers, leopards, they
Mhm.
do scavenge. So they clean up those, carcasses.
I am a little bit surprised.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised because as far as I remember, while growing up and watching National Geography,
Yeah.
I never saw any of the documentary which were showing the scavenging done by wildcats. I'm surprised to see that I'm listening it for the first time. Please enlighten me on that.
It is very necessary behavior that they do.
They
in the
do
wild.
that?
Yeah, they do
Okay.
that.
Because-
Even I have published a paper on that.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
my recent article got published in the
Mhm.
Cat News by IUCN,
Okay.
and in that we put up the camera
Mhm.
on the carcass of Sambar. Sambar is a deer,
Mhm.
and we found that leopard came to visit and eat that carcass.
Eat that carcass.
Yeah.
Okay. Although it was not killed by that leopard.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was a roadkill.
It was a roadkill.
Yeah,
Okay,
leopard
this is
do come and visit it every day. Yeah.
interesting. Because as I said, National Geography never showed such type of documentaries. They always show that either the lion or the tiger or the leopard they are running behind.
They
their
are
prey.
hunters. They are particular.
Hunters, exactly.
Like their main job is to hunt, but they do scavenge. They are facultative scavengers.
I see. The second question that I would like to ask is, what's the effect of the global warming that is creating on these wild animals, and what's the role of extreme environments that is appearing nowadays? And it's such a dramatic change within 10,
Yeah.
15 years. It's changing extensively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you have seen in the like changing weather patterns,
Yeah.
rainfall,
Mhm.
even the snow patterns.
Mhm.
The main effect is on the species which are living in the high ecosystem, like mountainous ecosystem,
like snow leopards.
Himalayan ecosystem.
Yes.
That includes species like snow leopards,
Mhm.
even the Himalayan wolves,
Mhm.
and even the foxes also.
Mhm.
So these species are are in very high radar of climate change
I see. They are very sensitive
Because-
to the changes.
because
yeah.
they need snow to live in that ecosystem.
Yes, true. Yeah.
and now the amount of snowfall is decreasing, and there has been observed continuous trend of increasing rainfall in those areas.
Yeah.
And if you go to mountain like hill stations, and the cycle has been disrupted. The natural cycle has been disrupted, which led to their habitat is shrinking. And they are the large carnivores that includes snow leopards. They are shifting to higher elevations to avoid those changes. Yeah.
So obviously, as you have mentioned, a change in the climate is definitely a threat to this to the wildlife. What are the other basic threats in this present world that is causing them? Obviously, environment is one of it, and as a result of it, there are it's a cascade of problems that originate from it. So can you please elaborate a little bit on it?
Other effects include those are the threats caused by humans.
I see. Yeah.
That
Not
includes habitat fragmentations. So we everywhere now globalizing the world. The cities, even we are not leaving the forest. And there has been fragments now. We are creating little small fragments of forest, and with no connectivity for wildlife to move from one corridor to another.
I see.
So this is one of the main threats caused by humans. And also there are various threats that includes habitat destruction. We are just removing, cutting all the trees, and and we are not living the wild as it should be.
I mean, I have seen some documentaries regarding, especially when there was a big threat on tigers. There was a time, I think now the situation is getting better.
Now the population is
increasing. But my fundamental question is why it happened. I mean, is it only because the humans are taking over the place or in the wild, or is it something different? I mean, was it the only cause, or were there any other causes that led to such type of problem?
I think it happened during 1970s or 1980s, and that time there was no law on wildlife.
I see.
And then in 1972, Indira Gandhi was the prime minister, and they introduced Wildlife Protection Act.
I see.
And after that, the situation has improved, and they have launched a variety of projects on tigers, even rhinoceros, and other important species, keystone species.
I see.
And the tiger was facing threat because of us humans. And there was a lot of poaching incidences.
Poaching incidences?
Yeah.
What
poaching means hunting by humans.
Hunting by humans.
They they trade the body parts of tigers. Their skin, their claws, their teeth. So they were they were selling it out.
Yes.
Yeah, and there was a big mafia behind that. Even today also it happens, but to very limited,
very narrow extent. It has been decreased.
Not to tiger, but to other species.
Like rhinos. Rhinos was once.
It's now the population is in control. It's stable.
I see.
Yeah. Now most of these poaching incidents happen more in the northeastern areas on species like pangolins.
Okay.
So they are traded for scales.
What is the reason behind it? Is it just for some people it's like a hobby to kill, or is it I mean, the question is why this black market is existing. Is it really related just for the hobbies, or do they do something for it?
No, it's on professional scale. They are selling it for earning huge profits. Wildlife trade is one of the biggest markets in the international business.
Okay.
And all other countries are exporting these body parts to China for medicinal purposes.
Can you give us an example of the species that were really brought up to extinction? We all know about the tigers. Was there any other predator species, since you know more about it? Is there any predator species that were that are in the present world, they do not really exist?
You mean the large carnivore species?
Yes.
You mean from India or
all over the world?
I think there are few species which are extinct. That includes the species from leopards. They are one of the subspecies also, and there are also the species, I think, that is from there are some species which are
I remember one.
Yeah.
Okay, my knowledge is coming from cartoon movies. There was a species of if you remember the movie Ice Age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the long tooth guy. They are, I think, they know
Mammoths.
mammoth. Yes,
mammoths.
they
Yeah,
do
yeah.
not really.
They don't exist.
They don't exist
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. They were during the Ice Age.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So they were like elephants of now this
Yeah,
age. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, coming to this this point of extinction and evolution, what is the you know the evolution cycle that you have observed during this time period? Like, did you see any dramatic changes because of deforestation and killing and human involvement in the wildlife? Did you see any evolutionary changes? Like, for example, I heard the story that there were two different types of moths in some specific jungle, white and black.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I have
since
read
there
that.
was an establishment of
Industrialization.
the white moths totally disappeared.
They become
yes,
black.
yes, they become black. So do we see any such type of I would not say it's an evolutionary thing, but would it be right to say that it's an evolutionary changes?
I will give you a perfect example of
Yes,
this.
for sure. Yeah.
Like in elephants,
Yeah.
especially the African elephants.
Uh-huh.
Like for example, in India, we have elephants, male and female, right?
Mhm.
So male have tusks,
Yeah.
big teeth.
Big teeth. Yes.
Yeah. So what happened in Africa?
Mhm.
There has been a lot of poaching happened in the past,
Okay.
and there has been a lot of pressure on the elephants. And
Mhm.
what happened? They did evolution in such a way
Mhm.
that now the new generation of elephants which
Yeah.
are now coming, they don't have.
They don't have the
Tusks.
the tusks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. And this happened within 100 years, I would
Yeah.
say. Oh,
So this is a perfect
really
example of evolutionary change.
evolutionary changes. Enforced evolutionary
Yeah,
change, I would say.
yeah, by humans.
By humans.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So they don't have any tusk now.
Yeah. I mean, and what do you think about what's the role of zoo in this type of situations? I mean, the first question that I would like to know is, on an ethical basis, is having a zoo in a city is good?
I think there are various factors for the ethical reasons.
Yeah.
For the ethical reasons, I think if you provide very good habitat with the proper nourishment, enrichment to animals,
Yeah.
then it is good. And the main purpose of zoo is to preserve the species.
I
For
see.
example, in like coming few hundred years,
Mhm.
that particular species is going to extinct.
Extinct. Yeah.
So zoos are the place
Mhm.
where we can keep those species, we can preserve their genes or the particular organism.
Yeah.
And if we want to reintroduce them at a particular point of time in future, so in that way zoo is very beneficial.
I
But
see.
for that we have to create a very nice habitat.
Mhm.
But the thing is, we cannot create exactly the similar
Exactly
wild
the
habitat.
same habitat in which they are living. Yeah. I
But
agree.
at the least we can do is to provide proper nourishment, proper
see.
space of the enclosure.
Mhm.
Because for example, wildcats, leopards, they have a huge territories to work. And if you put them in like small room,
Hmm.
for example, you take example of yourself. If you
I
you have to live in
yes.
a room and
Yeah.
you don't have to go out for a few years,
Mhm.
you will be crazy.
Yes, definitely.
You will
I
show
mean, you will show bizarre behavior
Yeah.
in your moods. I mean,
different symptoms which are unhuman.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But now my second question is it going the way we want the zoo to be, or is it become more like a commercial place to earn revenue? Because as far as I know, not only in India but also I think all over the world, zoos are the places now and in the present moment have become a tourist attraction. And zoos, people want different type of species of animals to be in the zoo, no matter if it is good or bad for them or not. So what is your take in this situation? Because you are very much closely related to that particular area.
Yeah. One of the main purpose of zoo is also to create awareness among people,
Mm-hmm.
so that the children,
Yeah.
of small age, so
Yes.
they can learn about the species. So these are the species which are existing in the wild also,
Mm-hmm.
and it creates some interest among them, so that they are more aware towards animals,
Animals, yes.
nature,
Mm-hmm.
even forests. So they are the major tourist attraction sports, but they are also important for preservation, conservation of the species.
Okay. So, I mean, if it is, if I understood you correctly, then what you're saying is it is equally important to have zoos, but in a very protective way.
Yeah,
without any exploitation
there are
of
two
the
types of
animals.
conservation.
Uh-huh.
One is in situ and
Okay.
other is ex situ.
I see.
Ex situ, that is you do in the forest, in the wild, and in situ you do in a place like zoo or aquarium or these type of places. So both are equally important.
Both are equally important.
Yeah.
I totally agree on it. I think.
But yeah, if we leave the nature to be wild,
Yes,
then we
definitely.
don't need such places to exist.
Yes, that is
So
true.
this is all created by us.
This is all
It's
great. Just because we want things to
It's
be.
everything related to economy.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah.
I mean, coming back to the point that what do you think about this? Some common myths about wildlife. Like, for example, in India, there are some myths that there is a special type of tiger who only eats small children or something like that because they are because the humans have killed his kids, something like that. So there were a lot of myth stories related to it. So what do you think? Is it really related to that? Are those animals that much intelligent that they differentiate between taking the concept of revenge within them, or is it related to something like we said, an evolutionary thing?
Recently I heard the same case about the wolves in Uttar Pradesh, in the Bahraich district. So there were many incidents of child lifting by wolves. So what happened, like wolves come to the near areas which are like human settlements near the forest, and they just pick up the small children and
only small kids.
Because they are easy to catch, easy to take away, and they drag it till 4, 5, 6 kilometers, and I think animals are very intelligent, but I think these are myths that they are particularly attacking the family members of the same clan. Or
it's not really like that. It's mostly like
it's about their
benefits of which is easier for them to pick. I see. I also heard a similar story that in India there was one village where one of the tigers who was only picking kids, and it was a very big mystery that why the tiger was doing that. It turned out that when they hunted down the tiger, that tiger was not having a specific region of the teeth, because of which he was not able to hunt properly.
So
the easiest way to survive was to pick this small
there are many
kids.
factors which make tiger or leopard a man-eater. The first thing is if they are injured, they don't have canines, because if they don't have canine, they cannot hunt. It's difficult for them to catch big prey and kill. Second, they are getting old.
I see.
So these are the factors which they make them man-eater.
But now coming back to the point of the family line of these big cats, the man-eating cats are mostly the ones which are outcasted from their family, right? Because otherwise, if they have the family and the tiger gets old, the family is gonna hunt for them. That's the main situation, right? If I get it correctly.
Like after 2-3 years they have to go out of their family and they have to find another territory for them.
And if they do not find it and they are getting old, they would prefer to go into the region of humans.
They will find easy prey to
kill. I see.
Otherwise they will be they have a territorial fight with other male and they will be killed. It's all about domination in the wild.
It's all about domination in the wild.
If you are strong enough to protect or defend your territory, then you are the king. But as long as you are old, then it's like human. If you have power, then you are the boss.
Then you will survive, definitely.
You are the boss. If you are out of power, no one will ask you anything, and one will.
I mean, what is the role of wildlife NGOs that are working? I heard that they have done really good jobs, but also I heard some horrible stories regarding corruption in them, that the money that was given to them was not utilized properly or used for something else. What is your take in that? I'm asking it in a general way, like since you have experience in both the world, coming outside India as well as inside India.
and there are very nice NGOs which are working particularly in the conservation of wildlife species. For example, in India we have Wildlife Trust of India, we have WWF. They are doing really amazing job to conserve these species, and they are providing employment to wildlife researchers, and they gather funds from various organizations or from the government, and they have very nice projects to conserve the species. And some NGOs are working on the reintroduction of the species in particular areas.
I see.
Yeah, so they are doing really nice job. And as far as in terms of corruption, I don't know, maybe there are, yeah, it happens sometimes.
It happens.
Yeah,
so it's not like a myth. It does happen, but
it does happen. Yeah, few NGOs, they they show something else, but they do something.
What do you think about the Indian wildlife sanctuaries? Because recently, I think last year, I visited one of the sanctuaries in I don't know if you remember, if you know Etawah. Etawah,
UP.
Yes, UP, Etawah. The situation was not really that good. I was.
What was the name of the sanctuary?
It was. I don't remember the name.
Okay.
But it's situated just outside the city. It was a very big sanctuary, but it had no wildlife. That's what I was observing, that just for the sake of for the people's entertainment, they have brought some few lions and lionesses.
That was a sanctuary or a zoo?
And it was a sanctuary.
So they have lions there.
Yes.
Have you seen? They were in the cage?
No, they were not in the cage.
Okay.
They were in the, I don't know, is it called sanctuary? Yes, it's wildlife sanctuary.
No, so in sanctuary there are no enclosures.
That's what I'm saying. There are no enclosures.
Okay.
In fact, we were in the enclosed vehicle.
Okay, you were.
We visited inside.
Okay, got you.
Yes.
Maybe they have a small, safari type of thing.
Safari
and they have introduced.
Yes.
For the.
But looking at the situation of the sanctuary, it was really sad to see. I mean, as far as I know, the government invested a lot of money there, but it doesn't look like it was invested.
I think it is just particularly for the tourism thing, not for the because for the lions we have only the protected area in Gir, that is in Gujarat. So there we have the wild population of elephants.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised to see about the situation in Gujarat. I mean, the lions and tigers, they were just walking on the roads.
Yeah,
people were in
lions.
People were in very close harmony.
They were
with
very
them.
used to them.
Yeah. It was really one of the.
Yeah, they are perfect example of living with the wild.
With the wild,
Yeah.
Interesting. Since you talked about NGOs and the possible opportunities that they provide, now we will come to the next section where we talk about the possibilities of doing or pursuing your studies in wildlife area. So can you please a little bit enlighten us for our audience who are watching this podcast?
You mean like the future perspective of?
Yes, starting from what is the possible opportunity for the for the people who are coming out of just their 10+2 or the schooling, and till how can they reach to a level where you are exactly at this moment?
I think if you are really passionate about wildlife and you have some background related to science, but you have studied biology, and if you have not, that's not the problem. I think you have to do bachelor's in life sciences, that includes zoology, botany. So these are the major things you have. You should have for having masters in wildlife science.
Okay. Yeah.
And there are various universities which don't also require this, because there are many my friends are there who don't have experience or particular academic background in biology or zoology, and they are from engineering background.
I see.
And they did masters in wildlife because of their interest, because they have read a lot about wildlife. And they have done internship with the in some projects related to some NGOs, and after that you have to enroll yourself in the master's program, which is particularly related to wildlife.
Okay.
And there are plenty of programs in India also, and also in abroad, For example, wildlife conservation, ecology and evolution, biodiversity. So whatever you are interested in that field, you can apply for that program and get enrolled. And yeah, if you have particular species or a family in your mind on which you want to work, then you can always find supervisor of that area who has expertise on that particular species or that particular domain. Then you can carry your research. Yeah.
So what do you think, what is more beneficial for the students to do their masters in India regarding wildlife, or do they come outside India to do their masters? Is it related to studying a particular type of species, or it has something to do with the type of education or the quality of education too?
I think the quality of education always, varies. If you do masters or some particular program in India or in abroad, there's a lot of difference.
Okay, difference in what sense? Like the quality of education for particular species, or just in general?
It's not about the species. It's more about the analytical thing.
Okay.
The analysis, what we are doing here, and what we are doing in India. There's a lot of differences.
Like, for example, can you please elaborate to our audience what exactly?
For example, here we have advanced statistical methods, which in India we are not working yet.
Advanced statistical methods, like in the recent world, if I understand correctly, the data analysis, data science part, right?
Data analysis particularly, and also the approach of data collection is different.
I see.
And the good thing about India is that we have a lot of species to work on. That is the good thing. We have a lot of biodiversity. But here in Europe, you have to work on mammals or on the carnivore species. We only have wolves, we have lynx, or either you work on foxes. In Germany, we don't have bears.
Yeah, that's true.
So we have very less biodiversity if we have to work on mammalian species. But yeah, if you have to work on birds, then it's good. We have
plenty of birds.
We have a lot of species of birds.
Okay.
Yeah, but if your concern is about the species, then if you want to work on snow leopard, we cannot find it here. Then you can enroll yourself here in the university and do your field work in India.
Okay. Is it possible? Is it possible
to
do that?
It is possible.
Okay.
There are various scholarships also. For example, DAD.
Yeah.
And with that, you will get a particular stipend or scholarship, and you have to find a supervisor here, and get yourself enrolled at particular university, and you have to find one supervisor there in India.
Okay.
So you need 2 supervisors who can guide you. So this is how you can do some part of your field work there, and then come here for data analysis or paper writing.
Okay. So if I understood you correctly, you at least need 2 supervisors to work in collaboration with India and in Europe. My next question is, from where do you get your funding? Like for such type of masters, I'm sure it is super expensive. Like coming back and going work, and especially going to field work. We'll touch that part. How is your field work? But for now, my question is, from where do you get your funding? Like, because working in wildlife is super expensive, as far as I know.
You mean for now?
Yes, for now, yes. Or in general, like for example, since you have given example that you can work in collaboration. But the question is, from where will you get your funding? Will you be funding yourself on your own, or will you get some funding from different sources?
No, it's difficult, very difficult if you arrange funding on your own. For example, if you have to put all of your money, that won't be sufficient for the research. So you have to find, there are various organizations which provide you, particular funding for species. On snow leopards, there are Snow Leopard Trust.
Okay.
And there are particular grants opening whole of the year. You can find it. And
I see. So basically it's more or less the same as in different research areas.
You have to write a project and then write a proposal to that particular organization or the grant for applying to that particular grant.
But that is mostly related to the supervisor under whom you're working, right? As a master student, or even if you're a PhD, you don't have to apply it on your own. Or do you have to apply it on your own? For
a PhD, you have to write proposal with your supervisors, both the supervisors, and then you have to submit the proposal.
I see.
For the grant. And
okay.